The breaking news from today is that has been elected a successor to the supreme leader of Iran. And there's a glaring issue that is coming up in this war with Iran that we're starting to notice, and I think we've been noticing for a while, but it needs to have light drawn on it. And why is it there are so many people on the right that, that are so far right that they're circling all the way back to the left? And there needs to be consequences to nations who tell us no. Welcome to the Ripple Effect. Let's go ahead and get into it. So first off, the breaking news from this morning was that 88 of these scholars they're theologians, part of the scholar body who picks the supreme leader of Iran, they decided it was a great idea to meet and vote on this succession in person. And so they met in person, 88 of them, and didn't realize that with us targeting officials, that would be a great target. So it wasn't us, but Israel did it. Israel hit the location and it no longer exists. Those 88 people don't longer exist. So I guess the remainder, or people that weren't there, or their successors of the successors of whoever, decided they had to do a remote vote. And they ended up voting in the eldest son of the Ayatollah Khamenei, or whatever, Khamenei, because they've changed whichever one, how they say their names. But long story short, the eldest son, who was thought to be dead, actually is still alive. As far as we know, as of this time of this recording, he's still alive and was voted in as a succession to the Ayatollah. Now, the things that we need to know are that he is worse than the Ayatollah himself. He is considered to be more radical. He's considered to be more aggressive. He's considered to be even more hardline than his father. And so a lot of people warned about taking out the Ayatollah. If you take him out, you may even have a worser devil. Sometimes it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. Now, I don't think he has a long life expectancy, considering we're still doing strikes and Mossad is in there and Israel's in there. And Israel has said that they have targets of their own outside of even what America has, and that they're not going to let those targets slide. So I doubt that he'll last long, but at least as of right now, he is still alive, and he is the successor currently to the Iranian regime. Now, as part of this is interesting is that in the debate of what's going on right now, there has been a lot of concessions, and I was watching a lot of the information coming from the negotiating team that was part of the American negotiating team with Iran, and how we offered them everything, including the kitchen sink, and they refused it. So they had stuff that was capable of being turned into nuclear-grade uranium in less than 10 days. Less than 10 days of purification. So 60% uranium purification. Considerably less than that is required for any kind of commercial needs. And we offered to provide them that for free, to give them the commercial grade uranium, to provide all the stuff so that nothing was being enriched. And they could not do it. And in fact, they were rebuilding underground bunkers that were even deeper than the ones we had hit previously. And additionally to that, they were developing so many missiles that was getting to a point where there was no defenses in any of the countries around them that would be able to handle the amount of missiles that they can throw at them, which is kind of a question, I guess, to people out there that say, well, they're just so peaceful. If you're so peaceful, why is it that one, why are you sponsoring terrorism everywhere? And so you have a reputation, obviously, of being so horrible. But also, two, why is it you're amassing such a massive amount of weapons? In the example of America, you could say because America has said that we want freedom across the world, and we defend our freedom very, very strongly. But here in this situation, when you're saying you want death to the great Satan, which is America, and death to the little Satan, which is Israel, and that you want them both wiped off the map, as you're also building missiles and developing missiles that can hit Western Europe, and then trying to develop missiles that can hit all the way to America, it kind of makes you not very peaceful, and kind of makes us not believe that you're doing it for peaceful means or for self-defense only. Now, speaking of missiles, this is the glaring issue that we've noticed in this campaign. And we noticed this in Europe too. We noticed in Ukraine, as we were giving these missiles, it takes us so long to develop, and not just develop, but also produce each missile, that we're realizing that we're running out of missiles quickly. This is why it was so critical to hit when we did, because we don't have a lot of missiles. We don't have a large reservoir of missiles. And I'm hoping we're recouping these, because otherwise it'll be pretty clear to the Russians and the Chinese that we are at a weakened point because of how much we've expended. Now, it's a good thing that Trump took over, because Biden was set to give even more missiles to Ukraine, which we don't have. part of this missile shortage is actually the reason why Trump was talking about he's in the process of developing what they call Golden Class or Trump Class battleship. And you say battleship, well, what's a battleship for? Well, a battleship is for land bombardment. They actually can pinpoint targets on land within a certain range, and they're discovering that it's cheaper for them now, because we thought for a long time, we said, we're never going to need battleships, right? Because we have missiles and all these other things that can handle stuff. And they're realizing that's not true. Now that we're dropping so much ordnance on target, you're talking millions of dollars being expended versus hundreds of dollars. The cost is that big of a difference between the shells that go into the battleship and the missiles that go on planes and out off of our aircraft, missile-guided destroyers. But guided missile destroyers, I'll get there. But the point is, that's why we're developing this almost older technology, is to help reduce production costs and increase production speed, because we're not able to keep up. Now, you have Iran, here's a country who's just devoted to attacks and all that kind of stuff. Of course, they're going to amass more because, that's what their entire focus of their country really was. So that's kind of the glaring issue that we're running into, and we're dealing with it. Now, on the good, positive side of things is we've been talking about lasers for a long time, but the Israelites, Israel has finally deployed their laser systems for defense, and these things are insane. Now, they said it's not their really, really quality one, because in 2028 they have the one that can basically hit the rapid missiles or the supersonic missiles. These ones can't shoot those ones down yet. They're able to shoot the slower ones, the less technology ones, which is good because it saves defense missiles from Israel from having to be used, because they're able to take them out of the lasers. And some of the video from that stuff is wild. Like, it's pretty good. Directional energy is amazing. So look into that if you haven't seen the videos. Speaking of videos, I'm working on trying to get set up on, I'm using OBS as my recording software, and I'm trying to get develop to figure out how to react to different people, because I'm going to be doing some quotes right now, and it would be better if you could hear them straight from the horse's mouth instead of me having to read them. And that's what I'm going to do, because that's what the technology I am working with right now. But I will learn. It's just been busy. I've been making my kid's bed, and I'm almost there. I'm almost finished. He's got like a little floating bed, and it's kind of fun, but I haven't quite finished yet. So speaking of that, I want to get to the people that are on the right, or supposedly on the right. I don't really count them as, us, if you know what I mean. But Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, and sadly one more has bitten the dust, and that is Megyn Kelly. Now, she'd been leaning this way for a long time with her relationship with Tucker Carlson, but it's finally really come out just what kind of integrity she's lost. And she's come out as basically an Islamic loving lunatic. I'm just going to call it for what it is. And it has gotten really bad. There's such a coalition of these people that they honestly need to be rooted out completely and just and kicked to the curb. If we need to make a separate group for these lunatics, then we can. But I want to read you some of the quotes. I have the quotes here. I want to read you some of the quotes from these people on just our engagement in Iran. So Megyn Kelly said, "No one should have to die for a foreign country. I don't think those service members died for the United States. I think they died for Iran or for Israel." Now, I want you to color your knowledge of what she's saying through the fact that she also openly acknowledges and understands that Iran is the culture that has directly killed over 1,000 of Americans, troops, soldiers, people, whatever, that came to power with taking our people hostage. Okay, that was the whole issue with Carter. And that through all of their proxies, not only are they risking us, they're risking several, as we're now discovering, several of our best allies in the area. So are the people dying for America? Yes, absolutely. And she continues. She said, "This feels very much to me like it's clearly Israel's war." And then she says, "Does it make any sense to you that Iran was planning preemptive strikes against us and our civilians, knowing full well of the massive military assets we had moved into the region? Obviously it doesn't." And I say, no, yes, it does. Yes, it does. I'm sorry. She's not a young lady anymore, but lady, I'm sorry, because you really don't understand politics if you don't understand why they were developing the weapons that they were trying to develop. Why were they trying to develop nukes? They clearly stated they were trying to develop nukes to use them. Like Russia and China develop nukes, and they're defending themselves with them. Even North Korea is just holding them in reserve. These guys came out and said, if we get one, we're deploying it. Doesn't take a brilliant rocket scientist to figure out that they were going to do a preemptive strike. And in fact, they were waiting until they were untouchable with how many missiles they had developed. So I'm sorry, she's kind of a fool here. And then Tucker Carlson, he's along the same vein, talking about how everyone knows the only reason we're having this war is because Israel wants it. This is their last chance. I'm sure he did his little laugh at the end of that. And then said Trump's Iran strikes are absolutely disgusting and evil. And I want to give you a vein of what all this is going on. And I have a feeling this is going to be a longer video, and algorithm will suck because of that, but whatever. Nick Fuentes. I have a few from Nick Fuentes. I didn't go into Candace because I was going to run out of time. And even Nick Fuentes, I'm probably not going to read his because there's so many obscenities in half of what he was saying that it's absolutely ridiculous. Basically telling people not to vote, if you don't want to even vote for Trump, then, or if you're not going to vote at all, or vote for the Democrats, because that's how much he disagrees with this and with Trump. It tells you these people are not on the right. They are not conservatives. They have nothing to do with our values, have nothing to do with what we believe, and yet people can constantly lump them in with us when all these people want to do is amass power and influence and money. And a lot of this is money. There's great money. Sadly, there's great money to be gained by going after Israel. I mean, look at Tucker Carlson and his awesome, there's a guy, Tanashi Peter, he always says Qatarlson because he's so heavily involved with Qatar. But these people are so insidiously wicked. And I want to give you a preview, not preview, it belongs to someone, preview into what exactly is happening in Iran. Now, again, I'm going to get to the point where I can actually show you guys videos on here, but there is video after video after video after video after video after video of people coming out and saying, thank you, Trump. Thank you, America. We love you, Trump. We love you, America, because the people of Iran want this. What kind of absolute garbage trash heap of a fool do you have to be to sit there and put yourself against the people of Iran who want freedom? So here's a terrorist threat. We take out the terrorist threat, and you're so upset that we're taking out the terrorist threat that you're willing to put the people that are now getting freedom back in bondage because of your stupidity, because of your desire of money, because of your filthy lucre desire over here, your desire for influence. And not even just all of that, but this demonic hatred of Israel. Now, if doing this gets me my $7,000, I'd be very glad because I could set up a new camera. If you ever see a new camera, a new setup, that's probably where it came from. But unfortunately, Israel hasn't paid us the $7,000 yet, which is funny because the lie that Israel, because people hate Israel so much, the lie that Israel pays people $7,000 to say good things about them is so asinine because 10 times out of 10 almost of the people that they tell this to, $7,000 wouldn't make a difference. Like I was laughing when I saw they were talking about, I was watching the chicks on the right, and they have so many videos and so many views, and they're like, yeah, because $7,000 would really do a lot for us. That's amazing. People that have considerably more views than me. This is how insane they are that they have to rip everything apart as being you're being paid. When traditionally speaking, if you look at the Democrats, basically whatever they're accusing other people of, they're doing. And because these people are so close to the Democrats and circling back on the Democrats, basically that's how their life works. And they're doing the same thing. Now, with all that said, I want to get into the last one. I think this one's very interesting. So Spain has denied us the right to use our facilities in their country for use for refueling or supplying in this attack on Iran. Germany had to step in to help us out because of just how interrupting that would have been. And this has to stop. If you do not want us to use the facilities we pay for because you want to be woke, you should lose all funding and be removed from the list of countries that we defend. Meaning, pull them out of NATO. I'm sorry. You tell us, no, actually, I'm not sorry. You tell us that we can't use our facilities that we pay for or use the equipment that we pay for in that area because you're being all woke and be like, oh, we don't like this. I don't care. I don't give a crap what you want. We are the dominant power in the world. And when we need to use your facilities, the facilities that we rent from you, that we pay you for, and you tell us no because you just don't like this war, well, what happens if that was to happen again and say even a more crucial war? How bad would that stab us in the back then? Would we have to bomb Spain and take them out? I don't know. I mean, again, these are things that we have to consider. Would that be that big of an interruption? I don't know. And we've seen the Axis powers of Europe be split in many, many different ways. So we can't just say that someone, because they're friendly to us now, are always going to be friendly to us. So when we rent something from someone like this, it should come with a bargain. We will protect you and we will pay you. If you do not want us to use your facilities, you don't get to decide in the moment, in the heat of the moment. It has to be a planned out thing when our lease expires. Otherwise, deal with it, because that's all it is. It's over. It's done. Now, we need to punish them for this. Somehow, I don't know how to do it. Maybe we should just pull out of there, take all the funding out of there, and say, you're right. You don't want to let us use your facilities? We'll concentrate on other facilities, and you get no funding and no help. Maybe seek Portugal. Portugal has been getting awful friendly recently. Use them instead. Might be a better solution. But regardless, this world is coming to some weird places, and we need to make sure that we prepare with missiles, that we prepare ourselves, our hearts, our spirits, our desires, to make sure that we're not falling prey to the crazy people like Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, Myron Gaines, and all the other ones. And even, it was like Milo Yiannopoulos was out there saying stupid stuff. Andrew Tate was out there saying stupid stuff. We have to prepare ourselves to make sure we are ready and we are capable. This is what this is about. This is not ranting just to you guys. This is not just giving you just the news. It's about us learning, us having an effect, a ripple effect. It's supposed to make a difference out there. And thank you. I got 130th subscriber. It is amazing. I'm so happy. I've been stuck at 129 for so long. I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for watching and your support. It means so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and push the channel. I appreciate it.